How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with a little bit of fruited haziness in a bottle, nonetheless, the form of Ecliptic Brewing. It's their 6th orbit, and this is a Hazy Plum IPA. A bunch of the Ecliptic stuff I've done as of late has been in their collaboration series, the 5 years, 5 beers. And they sent those to me, and as they did this one, and this is a new one to kind of pop off. And I thought I actually did this one before, because I just remember having something plum from them. But I didn't. At least I didn't post it. So we're going to dive into it. And I'm pumped. Why am I pumped? Plum is more like my favorite fruit on the planet. It's like a duke it out, like 1A, 1B between plum and pears. Those are the best. And, man, you're talking about a hazy plum? I'm kind of interested to see how they play the plum in this. Because you would have to put a ton of plum in there. It's a very soft, expressive fruit. So you'd have to throw a ton in there to really have it kind of shine through. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If they didn't put a bunch of plum in this, that is a super oxidized beer. Because it is this weird kind of brownish orange thing going on. Looks kind of like a sun-kissed, sun-bleached football. You know, or, I don't know, Hulk Hogan's skin maybe. Something around there. Hot dogs. There you go. It looks like a hot dog color. With a kind of neither creamy nor rocky kind of head, just super microscopic, tight, compact bubbles. It looks the part of a hazy because it's hazy, but I mean, that color is not what you'd expect until you kind of add that kind of plum portion of the show there. I'm expecting it to be organic. I'm expecting it to be real plums because there's no way you would get that color just from like an extract. Label-wise, I don't know. Ecliptic's labels don't really do it for me. They look like kind of like a HUD from like from you know, some video game, like I don't know, Halo or some shit like that. It kind of looks like a video game HUD, which I love video games. You think I'd like it, but I don't know, something about it. Yeah. So what does she look like? She looks like a hot dog water skin, Hulk Hogan beer. Let's get a nose. I mean, she almost has like this kind of lactose vibe to her, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, there's a fruit portion there. Is it plum? Sure. But that's the thing about plum, too. You're talking about a hazy IPA. ABV's got to be up there in this, right? 8.5, so it's not a small beer. Yeah, I mean, you're getting like a mango, citrus, pineapple kind of thing that you'd expect from a base hazy IPA. A bit of residual sweetness. It has all the bits and pieces. And then you get the plum portion of the show. I don't know if it's going to work. I think it's in there. It's definitely in there because there's this added fruit component. It's definitely coming from something beyond what the hops would normally give you, and it has to be that plum. But I don't know if it's going to translate in the taste. I'm kind of curious. It does smell like there is a decent diacetyl thing going on here. I'm kind of not sure if that's part plum or part of an off flavor. I don't know. Let's just find out. Cheers. Okay. The plum's definitely in there. I mean, you get this rich, sweet plumminess. It's unmistakable in the taste. I didn't think it would be that vibrant based off of the nose. It's almost like floral perfume big. When you first take a sip, it really hits the top of your palate, like the roof of your mouth. This big floral plumminess, almost like a plum wine, as opposed to a real plum, and it has this kind of alcohol base to it. You get a little bit of ethanol alcohol kind of heat from it, but not necessarily in the back of your throat. More of like an evaporative thing in your mouth. You're getting all the check marks you would expect from a general hazy IPA. Big green component. Citrus, you're talking about your grapefruit, you're talking pineapple, you're talking a bit of mango kind of floating around in there. But that plum sweetness is definitely there. There is a bit of diacetyl in here, so you're getting a little bit of that kind of butter popcorn thing kind of floating around in there. There's so many explosive flavors, it's kind of not getting all that much in the way of anything, but it's there. And it has to be decently big for it to kind of peek through all this explosive, and that's the word I want to use here, explosive kind of flavoring. Here's the thing. I love plums. I love hazy IPAs. I love just good beer. I don't think it's a bad beer. I don't think it's a bad hazy, and I don't think it's a bad plum beer. this combination just doesn't really work for me. And I'm a guy who loves plums. All the flavors taste kind of disjointed. It tastes like a hazy IPA, but it also has a ton of plum in it. But it doesn't taste like those two things are working together. So it's not necessarily that I don't like the beer. I just think the flavor combination and how it's applied here, because there's a big green component, and the sweetness does come off like a crystalline kind of a white sugar kind of sweetness. I think if you came up with a drier, less residual sugar hazy IPA, double IPA, hazy IPA, I think that plum would show much better, because I think that added sweetness that's the thing that kind of keeps both sides from playing well together. Again, not a negative beer. It's not like I'm hating it. I want to keep drinking just for the sole reason of kind of dissecting it more. But it's okay. It doesn't blow me away. And I love me some plums, but just kind of misses the mark for me. So let's talk about it. One of the better kind of double IPAs I've had as of late. It's not on the out. It's not on the in. It's kind of on the cusp there, because there's interesting bits and pieces of it enough to kind of turn me on. But it's that stark difference between that plum and a beer itself being separated like that. Just doesn't make me go gaga for it. Value and availability. I've always said this. Ecliptic usually is a decent price point. I don't know, because we don't get it by me. We do. We get it in Pennsylvania. I don't beer shop a lot in Pennsylvania, but I work in Pennsylvania, and I went to a bottle shop the other day close to my work. There was a couple of Ecliptic bottles floating around, and I think a couple of these bigger, this is pretty much all their beer comes in this kind of bottle. These were like $5, for 16 ounces. I mean, you're talking about, $20 4-pack, I guess. That's kind of expensive. Glass bottle ones, not so much. Take that for what it's worth, and leave you with, if you like what way you like this beer. If you like plums and you like hazies and you want them both together. If you're looking for a super cohesive, kind of teamworky kind of beer, this might be a little bit off the mark for you, but if those are two flavors that you really enjoy, it could be good for you. It doesn't really work all that well for me, but at the same time, that's me, not you. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little plum goodness right now. And hopefully see you later. Cheers.